Good evening. We'll call this meeting of the North Liberty Park and Recreation Commission to order. First order of business is to the approval of our January 6th meeting. We did not have a meeting in February. We didn't have a quorum during some uh, time there, so we were going to have an active meeting tonight. So do I hear a motion to approve the minutes from the January 6th meeting?
I move to approve January 6th meeting minutes.
A second.
A second?
Second. Been moved and approved to move the January 6 minutes as read. Is there any objection to unanimous consent? Not, the minutes are approved as read. Okay, now it's our privilege tonight to welcome a new board member. And so Laura Olds is our new member. And so as tradition is, Laura, we ask you to introduce yourself and tell us kind of a little bit of your background and why you're interested in being on the Park Commission.
Sure. So I am currently a graduate student at the University of Iowa studying health administration. I work in healthcare currently. I work in administration with community clinics over for the University of Iowa. And then I also do research for urologists. So I stay pretty busy, and North Liberty has been one of my favorite places I've ever lived. And I try to connect with the community here and applied to serve as this role a couple months ago and was stoked when the mayor called me and offered it to me. I was like, yes. So now I'm here.
Thank you. Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you.
board.
Thank you.
Everybody looks forward to having you on board, and we do a lot of discussion and a lot of good ideas coming out of this, and we're always looking for more ideas. So
Perfect.
we move right along. And we got our parks report from Guy, and again, it's just too bad the audience doesn't get to see the color pictures.
Yeah. I always figure a picture is worth a million words. So, we been doing some various building maintenance projects. We continue to work with Shy Pattery and contractors regarding the pool heater project, which is getting pretty close to being finished, except for a couple items. Shelley might elaborate more on that. We're working on future roof replacement at the rec center and some other building maintenance stuff we kind of like to do during the winter time. We've been taking care of that. Maintain equipment as time permitted, getting ready for the upcoming season. A lot of, like our summer equipment things we go through during winter time, so there's a lot of less downtime during the summer. Of course, we had snow and ice removal that we had to take care of this month. Hopefully that was the last time here the other day. So knock on wood. Yeah.
Out here on the sidewalk.
Well,
that might,
we actually don't take care of this facility here, so it's a here. But yeah, it's a little excessive. The ice rink, we did resurface that a few times this past month. But however, the thaw freeze, it's in pretty bad shape, so we've closed it. And my guess is it'll be closed for the season from here out. So we're gonna wait for that to thaw and get that off, so the tennis and pickleball can go back to using the courts.
How do you get all the water out of it once it thaws? Does it just roll
Oh, it
out?
just runs off.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, it runs off the court, just like when it rains.
Guy,
So
did you have any other weird ice rink? I remember, didn't someone do some stuff to it?
yeah,
earlier?
no, we've had we put up a camera and we haven't had any issues since that.
Figure.
So
What, can I ask what happened?
someone went out there, and this has happened a few years back, but they take an ice auger and they drill down through the ice. I don't know. I don't understand why.
Just being destructive.
Yeah, but luckily they haven't punctured the liner. I don't know if they think they're helping us out or what, but what happens when they drill a hole, that water that's not frozen bubbles up and then it goes on top of the surface and it kind of destroys the nice surface that we have. We haven't figured it out yet. So
Okay.
Hopefully the camera was just enough of a deterrent.
yeah. So our talking about it, we've talked about it quite a bit here lately. So of course we've continue to organize our shop, getting ready for the summer, because once summer hits, we're not gonna have time for that kind of stuff. We've been looking at ordering supplies, things that we're gonna need for the upcoming season. We've ordered some trees for a spring tree planting. Also, this time of year, we try to finish up some of our annual training. However, we have a lot more coming up that I've noticed. Um, we've also started doing some playground safety inspections. This time of year, you'll start noticing things just from the winter freeze thaw, plastic that's cracked or things that have come loose. We just need to get those things ready so when the people start using them, that they're ready to go. However, we're gonna have to order some parts because we did find some cracked slides this year. So,
Are those parts, like everything else, taking a long time to get in? Are they delayed?
good question. They typically take a long time to get in anyway.
Okay. Okay.
And the one piece that has to be fixed is at the rec center, and that playground is probably one of our oldest playgrounds, probably the second oldest. It's pushing 20 years old, maybe a little more, but I'm hoping we'll get some parts for it still. We continue to review plans for the upcoming Dubuque Street project. I'm kind of involved in that. Dubuque Street project is coming up. The demo is done. The property that the pet clinic and the veterinarian clinic there, or the pet clinic and the chiropractor, that building is now gone. The project is going to start here really soon. That project is going to impact some of our south side of the Penn Meadows this summer. The Babe Ruth parking lot is going to be removed. There's going to be a new parking lot in place, but the whole configuration of that intersection is totally going to change. But that parking lot is supposedly on the contractor schedule to come out in April and won't be back in with a new one until probably July. So that's pretty much the whole ball season
Oh, yeah.
for that side of the park. So, there's going to be some growing pains this summer over there, but next year it's going to be really, really nice. So, let's see. Oh, if you see the pictures, the park staff fabricated 2 information center signs. We had it bid out, and it was like very expensive. So we said, hey, we think we can build those. So we did, and we just got them back from the paint shop, and we saved probably about $5,000 doing that ourselves.
Wow.
So
Nice.
the idea of that, we're going to have some permanent signage that's going to hang on those that will like spell out the dog park rules and things like that, and things that we want to hang on there to inform the public. So that was kind of the idea of that. Let's see what else here. On March 1st, getting back to the Dubuque Street project, we did have a pre-construction meeting, so that's why I know the schedule now. But you're going to start seeing a lot of work over there. NLCBS, the ball club, we've been meeting with them, trying to work out some of the field, what's going to happen over there in the Babe Ruth area. They're wanting to collaborate with us on building a shed, so we're going to kind of work together to build a storage shed over there by the Babe Ruth area. That's going to actually, during this project, the Dubuque Street project, we're looking at putting water and electricity into that building, and then from there, going out to the mound on Babe Ruth. So we have a source of being able to irrigate that. We've never had that capabilities before. So we can actually water the infield and water the surface out there. So when it gets dusty, we can water it down a little bit. So we thought this would be the appropriate time to, when we had that area all torn up, to do that. Other than that, we had department heads, all of us departments has had a goal setting session to kind of go over future city planning and growth of the city. So every 2 years we go through that just to kind of spell out some of the things we want to do in the upcoming future. Any questions? I'll be happy. Well, actually, hold on a second. I do want to bring up 2 things. The dog park, this time of year, it gets really muddy. I'm hoping that we get some better turf this year. We're going to try some new organic products out there that hopefully may enhance that. This budget, I think it's going to go through, but I'm looking at getting a deep core aerator to get some of the compaction out of it. But I just want people understand that we're working on it. We're very well aware that the turf out there is not very good. We could close it, but it's, people don't like that either. So we're just gonna have to see what we can do to enhance that out there over time. And lastly, I'd like to bring up on April 9th, we have our Muddy Creek Cleanup Day. It's where we go out, we have an opportunity to clean up all the trash from the creek along the trail before we have the spring, summer vegetation growth. It's a lot easier to do it then than to wait when the weeds get really tall.
And when was that?
That's April 9th.
Okay.
What time does that?
I believe it's 9, and we meet at the rec center.
Oh.
And we normally have Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, and other volunteer groups. The Tree and Stormwater Board will participate in that. And we kind of divvy up, and the Boy Scouts normally go down for Evergreen Road and work their way north, and a lot of us work our way to the south, and we kind of meet in the middle. Normally get a couple truckloads of trash that float down the creek. But
Is that a weekend?
it's on a Saturday.
The Saturday?
Mhm.
Okay. Oh, fun.
Do we bring gloves or are
Sure.
those things provided or just?
We do have some
Whatever.
gloves, but we kind of ask if you have your own that you like to bring them. Boots are kind of beneficial if you want to get into the creek and pull out stuff. Some people bring like a rake or something that they can reach in and pull stuff out of the creek.
Okay.
But it's amazing how much trash floats down over winter. Yeah.
It's good. Yeah, that's a great community participation day. Gets
That's-
people involved, kind of thinking about what
Mhm.
our
That's-
trails are like, and that's good.
Yeah,
It's
that's
good
kind of our
about that.
kickoff. I always get contacted like by the 4-H, different clubs that contact me wanting to do service work.
That's great.
And this was just kind of the first one to kick things off.
Back to dog park. The keypad has the
Yep.
keypad in, or?
We have them. We're not going to put them on and make them active until sometime March, April.
That's an entry keypad.
Yeah. So I guess what we're having difficulty, and some of the overusage from people who do not have their pets registered. So we're going to give out a code that you can punch in that will allow you to use that park, but you have to be registered to get that code, and of course that code will probably change annually. But Angela wanted some time to let people know that we're going to be doing that, and we have to get them installed yet, so that is coming down to that there'll be a code to get into to use the dog park.
That's an issue. That's a fairness issue and a usage
so
issue. It is.
We figure it's not fair for people who pay and register, and the park is overused to begin with. Maybe we'll cut down on some of that. Park is definitely undersized for the size of our community. Hope to expand on that someday in the future.
Yeah, so that was my question then. I mean, I know it's brand new, but are we already thinking about either expanding that or
Yeah.
just another
Mhm.
park?
We hope to have the ability to purchase some of the property that's right next to it. Maybe in the future, so we can expand right there, maybe put a parking lot on that side, so you can come in from two different ways, but time will tell if that will actually come to fruition, so.
I have a question about the goal setting session.
Mhm.
Can you talk a little bit about some of the things that came up there?
So we kind of had a questionnaire that we all filled out. We all go through our own issues. I know Shelley probably does like capital projects, improvement projects that she wants to do. And what this facilitator does, it takes everything and puts them into one document. So it's a city as a whole. So we list anything that we think might be a upcoming issue, trends or things that we might want to do. And it kind of goes into this document. It just kind of just gets everything out in the open and onto the document.
Now, is that at the same time that this other focus group, I can't think of the name of the company that did that for the city of North Liberty, is
Yeah.
is that gonna
It's
be shared
diff-
with them?
It probably will.
Okay.
That'd be my guess. This is something we've been doing for years now. Every 2 years, we do this goal setting session. But yes, I would think that this would kind of merge together somewhat. I'm assuming. But this is just something that we do every 2 years
So it's,
anyway.
and then I know that they're doing those listening sessions digitally, and I don't know if they're also in person, because I know I'm gonna try to make it to one, but I think they've already had a few. Do you know about that?
Yes, next Friday, I'm supposed to have a meeting with them to kind of go over things related to parks. And I know Shelley probably had things to go over community center wise, so.
And I went to one of them that was on Zoom,
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
okay.
so.
They'll have more coming up. It's
Yeah.
basically a year-long project from what I understand. And this is the one that's that community vision that I shared that website. And actually, I think it's on the agenda as well. That I
Oh,
still
okay.
keep that there. But that's through RDG, the comprehensive plan that will take all year, and they'll have more listening sessions and more ways for public to offer their input, along with, like Guy said, our staff.
I really like they had a map where you could pin ideas on the map. That was
Yeah.
that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
And I think we'll speak to that more down a little later after the reports, because it's been
Oh,
very
right, right.
interesting. There's been a lot of good feedback that we've been reading, and I've been reading on that, so.
Sorry. to
Going
skip
back
that.
up the list here with Guy, you mentioned pickleball, so is everything back in place for whatever we did for pickleball last year, the courts and everything, whenever you're talking getting the rink off there?
Yeah, the rink is
everything?
actually on the tennis court side. The
Yeah.
pickleball side is open. It's not open. We have it locked up still. But as soon as we get that ice rink off and the court's cleaned up, we're gonna open it up. So
And everything's done, it was done last,
Yeah.
the renovating,
Oh, yeah.
whatever, redoing that,
Yep.
there's nothing else going
look,
on
look
there.
really nice. New nets, and they use them towards the end of the season, so they liked it.
And I did, back with ice skating, and maybe Shelley, did we have any idea on numbers, how many people used the skating rink, or checked out, of course, they could bring their skates or check out skates?
Yeah.
or-
Yeah, I don't think, I'm not aware of any way of
Well,
doing a count.
I
Did the
have kind
camera
of
show there were a lot of
unofficial,
people?
yeah. So it does document pictures, and there's times that, especially in the evening, there were quite a few people there. Pretty
Yeah,
much
but
every
what
evening.
you see there needs to stay there, because there might be a few falls here and there. right?
It's actually not video, it's just
Yeah.
pictures. So.
Snapshot.
I drove by a
Yeah.
few times and it seemed like it was, it
Yeah.
was busy.
Yeah.
Footage.
Trying to be like you're on the Olympics.
Yeah, I know right now.
I know it's difficult,
giving
but
up.
probably the beat the bitter time when they could just get the skates right there. I
Mhm.
heard
Oh.
people compliment about
Mhm.
Yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah,
but
it was
yeah.
busy definitely that
And it
night.
was busy
Yeah.
that night, yeah.
I think mostly in the evening we had from what I could tell, we had a couple soccer clubs or not soccer club, hockey clubs that were there practicing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think, it's definitely a great thing for the community. Any other questions for Guy? We grill him pretty good.
Hey, Guy, on the goals part of it, is it big ticket items? Is that what you're doing when you're doing the goals? Is that
It's could be anything.
anything?
Anything.
Okay.
Anything and everything, yeah.
Alright.
I mean, RDG thing is something, I mean, doesn't
That's a-
happen very often.
Yeah, that's
So this
bigger.
goal setting is something we do every 2 years. Basically is doing the same thing as this RDG.
But that's like every decade or so, right?
Yeah.
More.
Yeah.
20 years.
And the goal setting, we do also list the accomplishments, so it helps us identify what has been done the last 2 years since the last time we did it, and then it helps us set new goals and objectives moving forward, so
That's like,
Yeah.
it's a nice tool to have.
I guess I forgot about that. That's the first thing we do is we go through all accomplishments and check them off the list. So
Nice.
Makes you feel
a feel good thing, yeah.
Ball field cleanup, when's that date?
I don't have that date,
Okay.
but it's coming right up.
I figured it'd be
Yeah.
coming here
That
soon.
First weekend.
Going back to pickleball, with that Dubuque Street construction, they'll have to park in the southeast lot.
Yes. So they're according to this contract, they are always supposed to keep some sort of access to that southeast parking lot, the
Southeast parking
pervious parking lot.
Yep.
So that's where people will have to park to use the Babe Ruth field,
Indoor tennis courts.
or the tennis courts.
A lot of them already park kind of over there by the,
Yep.
especially the pickleballers, seem to
Yeah,
park
and the
over there
tennis
in that
court
parking lot.
parking lot will still stay open.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
That little one.
Oh,
there.
that one
Yeah.
will stay open too?
Yep.
Okay.
It's just
good.
the out front by Beach
gazebo
Street,
area.
yeah.
Big Street.
That parking lot's going.
Yeah, just thinking during ball season, I'm sure there's going to be
Well, tournament
city
season is gonna be
lenient on street parking or whatever. There's going to be parking everywhere.
they'll be
because
everywhere too.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how they manage all that because there is a lot of stuff gonna happen.
But progress.
Yeah.
Things are, that's really going to be good. Yeah. Well, we'll segue. Shelley doesn't have any pictures for us, but she paints a picture with her report.
I can start maybe adding pictures. We'll see. Basically, February, even though it's the shortest month in days, it seems to always be one of the longest ones, just right in the middle of the winter. But we try and make it through. As Guy mentioned, outdoor building maintenance projects, the gas lines on the roof and the snow rails, that work came to a halt with the weather. And the safety of being up on the icy roof. So I'm hoping within the next couple of weeks, they'll get back in here and get those accomplished, those projects. The pool heater project, like I mentioned, we're pretty much done with the initial project. Just some few outstanding things. We're waiting on a switch, and also the Iowa Public Health has stepped in and said they want 2 exchangers, water exchangers, instead of using just one. So 2 for both pools. So we're just going to go with a smaller one and get that implemented. And so that's continuing and will be hopefully done here as well within the next couple of months.
So Shelley, public health inspects pools?
Our
Suppose.
pools have to be inspected every year.
The same
Mhm.
as, okay.
So,
Yeah, so the way it was designed, they had one heat exchanger off the new boilers that heated both the indoor and outdoor pool. The water would intermingle. We have to make that separation.
Oh, the 2, okay.
Yeah.
so we're working with our designers from the get-go and how to add that second one in there. So they seem to have a
Plan of action.
plan of action
Yeah.
to take. It's just a matter of getting it done now. So, as far as anything outside regarding that project, Guy, that we're waiting on,
No, I think that's it.
I did notice that we had some questions on the doors and access.
Oh, yeah.
In and out.
We're waiting on parts.
Okay.
Will that close down the pool?
No.
It won't. So that's
If
just
it does, it will be just for a short period of
Okay.
time.
Alright.
But hopefully we can make an arrangement where it can be done after hours or slower periods of time and not interfere with anything.
Yeah, right now it's not an issue because we don't have the outdoor pool going, so. But hopefully have it done before we have the outdoor pool and the
Right.
indoor pool.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely something we want done prior to starting to fill the outdoor pool. And so when we go into that season, we have both pools up and running as they should be in the correct manner. So, but yeah, they're working on it this spring, because usually we start filling. Oh shoot, do you remember what Ashley said she wanted to start filling the outdoor pool? I'm not gonna remember now off the top of my head. Mid-April? End of April? Something like that. So I'll report back on that. But yeah, it's right around the corner. We'll be working on that. Let's see, some other things. This month, we did have a lot of kind of short-staffed situations with vacations. We did have President's Day, which was a new city holiday, but the rec center stayed open, and then we're still kind of coming back from the pandemic of being short-staffed. So it's always seems to be a struggle. This month, and actually, I would say February, March, and April are 3 months that it seems like we have a lot of our anniversary dates of staff and trying to get their vacation times that they have either to use or lose building up, and there are some changes in regards to that. From years past, they kind of gave a little larger window to get your time used up, and they've now said they want to really go with the anniversary date, have it completed by the anniversary date. So that's what's kind of throwing this year into a little wrench, is people don't have a little wider window to use those vacation times.
You used to have a month after your anniversary date to use all your time. Well, then they just told us in January that you got to use it all. And mine's
By the anniversary
February
date.
28th, so I had to use, so I've been working 3-day weeks, and this week I have to work 4, so I'm going to be exhausted tomorrow. So,
Does the city have rollover?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah. And it's just a lot, we have a lot of veteran full-time staff now that,
Built it up.
they have built up time. The pandemic, I think, played a part in people not, using as much vacation time or using it for other things, and had plenty to either use before the
So
anniversary
if you guys
date,
could
so-
vote tonight on 3-day work week, that'd be great for us.
We can vote for it. I'm not-
That's true. That's true.
You can get to do all your work.
Somebody else, I don't know.
We want pictures.
We're hiring at the park department.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Me
That's what I
too.
hear.
Let's see. At the end of the month, with the city halting the mask mandate, we also opened up the kids' campsite area on Friday, the 25th.
Thank you so much. I just want to say that I have waited for that for what feels
was
like 2
packed.
years.
That's
Oh
what
man, my son was.
It's been a zoo.
I mean-
it's been heavily used.
Yeah, is there gonna
Day
is
and
it going
play.
to be open on the weekends again soon?
Oh, we're
Jonesing for
we're
it.
gonna probably wait on the weekends.
Oh,
Why?
The biggest reason there is with our bigger events in the gyms. We just, for crowd control and just control of that area, we don't want it too congested, in such
many-
a confined area, that we're right now keeping it closed on Saturdays and Sundays, but we will eventually get back to normal use.
Like you can
but-
offer tickets. We'll buy one. Like 7:30 every morning.
So we're working on it.
Okay.
I thought it was interesting that you were up 275 people this last month.
Yeah, that is our database numbers. Again, it continues every month. We seem to have more and more. I think even as we started March, and with the lifting of the masks, I think that number will be interesting to see this next month. What is nice is, like it says there, we're totaling about 15,900 individuals in that database. So any announcements, any changes in operations, it's been a great tool to use that, send out emails, and instantly people know the next step we're doing or what's opening. And so it's worked out great to have that, and it's interesting to see how that number continues to rise. And
Because
You know.
statistically, that would be really high for a Parks and Rec. I mean, to me, that would be really high. I don't know if anybody else, I'm not sure any other community around here can say that 64% of their residents.
yeah, good
Do you know
point.
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
maybe
Point.
that should be
Yep.
proportionally to the budget. I'm
Do
just
you need more
saying.
money? We think you do.
Perfect, sounds good.
Is the phone screen ringing yet? No, I'm
I
just-
know. I got my parents from Coralville to join, so I was like waving the banner up.
3-day work week and more money. This is,
Yeah,
this is really
We
fun. I
love
like
you.
this one.
No, but I do think I mean, I wonder how many people realize that. It's a lot of people.
A lot of people. Yeah. I was gonna say, we've always thought we were definitely a hub of the community, and even, as it says there, how many non-residents we have. There's a
Oh.
pretty substantial number of non-residents that use our facility. And that's the whole goal, is to continue to meet that need of both residents and non-residents, and have that space as a place to come. So, it'll be interesting, like I said, to see what March brings. Different programming, as we bring it back more programming from the pandemic too, I think that will just help those numbers, more rentals of the facility, So it's just a lot of just new faces, either taking part in any part of the facility itself, be it membership, be it daily use, be it rentals, be it programs, whatever people want. That, that is that total number within our database that we have. So it'll be interesting to see how that continues to increase. Looking at further down there, we had 67 participants actually registered 4 sessions of our aqua programs. That continues to definitely be a high program area that has bounced back great from the pandemic. Swim lessons, we served about 87 through the February session of swim lessons that we offered. Leagues and sports, like we mentioned, in January was the start of our larger Supreme Basketball League. That's the joint between Coralville, North Liberty, and Tiffin. And continues through till middle of March.
No, last week was the last day for 5th and 6th grade. This week is the last week for 3rd and 4th grade.
Was this the first year that was collaborating with Tiffin
Yes.
too? How did it go?
Pretty good because we could have, like, all the 3rd and 4th grade girls are in a school over in Tiffin. All the
Oh.
3rd and 4th grade boys are in a different school in Tiffin. 1st and 2nd grade's all at the rec center because of our seating, and we have a lot more people come for the 1st and 2nd grade. 5th and 6th grade boys are at Van Allen Elementary because they play full court, and then 5th and 6th grade girls are at the Coralville Rec Center and they play full court. So
Oh, sure.
it's kind of nice there. It's just the first week, we had a first week where us and Tiffin and Coralville, and it kind of snowed / whatever the night before. So the CCA schools decided that they weren't going to let the Tiffin rec department into their school. So that was the only site that we couldn't have the program, but we had it in Coralville and we had it in North Liberty. So that's why 3rd and 4th grade has one more week
One more
left.
week.
So that was a little interesting to start off the session, was canceling in Tiffin, and us here in Coralville all had it. So that was a little interesting, but yeah. Because on the weekends, here, especially here at the rec center, we probably have 200 people every hour and a half come into the rec center. So you're talking when there's an interchange between this game going on and the next one,
Yeah.
there's probably 400 people going in and out of the facility. So
Pee Wee Sports is another program. Soccer was this month. Kyle runs that program, and we had a total of 40 participants in that program. You can see the numbers there for before and after school program, 16 in the before school and 50 for after school. Our land aerobics, I guess you'd call them land fitness classes versus water fitness.
Like land mammals and like.
They haven't bounced back as quickly as the water fitness classes, but are gradually coming around. So a lot of them, cardio pump, senior CBS is a new one. Renee Manders is one of our instructors and has been
Forever.
here since I started, I know, and even probably before me. Her classes seem to always be, she has a good following, so those are the ones definitely that are back. And again, as we continue to come out of this pandemic influences, I see a lot of those programs hopefully coming back within the facility. We had 34 participants in Tippy Toes Dance, and then we served about 70 meals through our Senior Connection lunches every Friday for the month of February.
Shelley, where do those meals come from?
I went out that when we started it back up, we just went to local businesses and have them catered it in. So Hy-Vee is the first Friday of the month. Pizza Ranch is the second Friday of the month. Meadows is the third Friday of the month. Yang Chow Wok is the fourth Friday of every month. And then we have Sugar Peach as our, when there's a fifth Friday of a month.
Oh, that's I didn't realize it rotated. I didn't know if we had one vendor or what. That's really nice.
Yeah, we try and have a variety. And then right now, we're still just doing the lunches. We'll eventually hopefully bring back the social piece of bingo cards, speakers, presenters and stuff like that, but we haven't brought that piece back yet. Rest of the report is just more just number wise as far as revenues. I don't know if you have any questions on that. Again, the rest of the report is more just figures from some of the general reports I can get from Rec Desk. So I am open to any questions.
I have a couple things. So we had our field lottery, which is basically we have 2 fields that we rent out for baseball, softball teams to rent. We had 43 teams show up for that. And they can, it's basically like a draft, like a fantasy draft or whatever, where you just 1 through 43 and then 43 back up to 1. It takes about an hour and a half because we only have 2 fields, so that helps. But the city of Coralville also has one. They had it, I think, a week or 2 weeks earlier. They have 5 fields to do, but they had 70 teams show up for theirs, and theirs takes like 3.5 hours to do that. So we had 43 teams come in and rent those 2 fields pretty much all summer long, starting the beginning of April till the end of June. So that's something that happened. Also, all the weight equipment that we ordered from the winter time is now all in. The last treadmill came in a week ago or a week and a half ago. So all of that new equipment is in. The other big thing that we're going to kind of start coming this fall, we're going to start a new soccer program, which I think is going to blow up. I found a couple soccer people that are going to kind of run it. We're going to do a 70-30 split, which is kind of what we do with aerobic people and stuff like that. It's basically going to be like a hybrid of a recreational / competitive. So the kids that want to do more competitive stuff will do more days. The kids that just want to do recreational, they'll have a day that they kind of do that. It's pretty much going to be Monday through Thursdays, and then Saturdays they'll do games / scrimmages. So that'll be held at Penn Meadows for now, and we'll have to just see how that goes. But it could grow quickly. So
What age
soccer,
range is that for?
kindergarten through 6th grade.
That's awesome.
So we have a spring one that we're doing now that we kind of do all the time, where it's on Friday nights. We do it for, about an hour and 15 minutes or so for those age groups also. But it's going to kind of all change come the fall. It's going to all change to this new way we're going to do it, and then that'll continue on to the following spring and so on and so forth. So it's going to get a little larger, and that's my only concern.
How's
So
that gonna affect the maintenance?
it's going to be. I mean, I don't think doing our spraying the paint and stuff is going to be a lot more. It's just the upkeep of, I guess,
Yeah,
how much use it's going to have. It's going to have more.
not
use.
gonna have the downtime.
Yeah, it's going to have more use because right now we only do it on Fridays for X number of weeks in the spring and then X number of weeks in the fall. So
We need turf.
there you go.
Turf time.
There you go.
Mhm.
There you go. We probably have to find a different place at some point. It'll work there for a while, but I don't know how long that'll last. We're up to almost 100 kids just in the spring one coming up now. So
Has there been ever discussion then of expanding the north side parking lot at Penn Meadows?
Yes, that's coming up this season. Yep, that, well, no, I mean, it won't be approved by council until in March here, final approval, but yes, that's on the plan to do this summer.
Forgive my
Um,
ignorance, but which side is, okay, so the north side,
North side of Penn
Penn
Meadows
Street
Park on
side.
Penn Street,
okay.
Penn Street.
By the rock.
Is the
By the
big
rock,
parking lot?
okay.
Yeah, so the big parking lot's gonna get repaired and overlaid and with asphalt. And then we're adding on additional parking lot. There's an additional curb cut to the west of the original entrance. That used to be where we used to have the tractor pulls in that area. So there'll be another driveway for access to Penn Meadows Park once we get that new parking lot.
will it take up the shelter or how?
No,
It'll
It's
miss the
gonna go up to
shelter?
the shelter. For
Okay.
now, it's just gonna go to the shelter, probably about 20 feet from it. And that's where it's gonna be for now.
Is there going to be lights or?
No lights
No lights,
as of
okay.
yet. Yeah. And
It's always
we're
strange when
gonna
you go
address-
by Penn Meadows, there's always cars there in the middle of the, it's
No,
dark
no,
out there and you're
no,
like, what are
weird.
you doing here? You
We'll
know?
address
in the
the-
morning,
Yeah.
like when you walk your dog.
Yeah.
I know.
It's really weird.
What are
Yeah.
you doing in there?
Yeah.
Another camera
It's
It just always
public
seems
parking,
strange.
you know, yeah.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who
No, I noticed it
I'm
too.
like,
I drive
"Whoa."
by there and it's like, what are you guys doing? You know, there's 4 car lights in there. And I'm like, what are you doing? I never know what they're doing.
It's
I don't know.
North Liberty.
I know.
What are they doing?
Here's a recipe.
I know, I mean, like, what kind of?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just-
I should
yeah.
drive in and ask them one time. I don't know.
So this parking lot project should have been done 2 years ago. Or, you know, but COVID came and it put everything on hold, so.
When is that starting?
What's that?
When will they do the extension of the parking lot?
That we have to figure out yet,
Okay.
because this budget does not go into effect till July 1.
Well,
So I'm hoping,
So after
After
the
that.
baseball season?
yeah, basically.
Anything else from Brian and Shelley?
I do have a couple, I
Couple
just had to, looked at the calendar before. I was thinking I could wait till April, but with the date of the meeting, no, I can't. One thing coming out of the pandemic, one of our first community events that we normally do is our Easter egg hunt. Actually, we're changing it up a little bit this year. We're calling it Extravaganza. And April 9th, we're going to be at Liberty Center doing kind of a walking, clue finding, bunny trail activity around the pond, along with some photo opportunities. And then at the end, a little treat bag to give out to the
Will the
kids.
Easter Bunny be attending?
There will be bunnies. Will there be an actual Easter bunny is still in
Did
question.
you get on his list?
Does the city need an Easter bunny? And seriously, do you need a costume? Because I have access to a professional Easter bunny.
You know a guy.
Does the guy come with the costume?
It was something that was donated to where I work, and we don't really have. I mean,
Can you wear it? Will it fit you?
Any volunteers?
we'll find someone to wear it, but it's like a legit
I know someone,
Easter
I know
bunny.
someone you know that might be able to wear it.
Bunny.
Might be a good one.
Terrify all. I'm a 6'7" Easter bunny.
There you go.
Yeah, I can talk to you after this meeting about that in case it's something that could be put to use.
We're trying to figure out
Doesn't everybody randomly have that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Day,
April 9th.
April 9th,
Yeah.
okay, same day as the
April 9th.
Okay.
Light Creek cleanup, yeah.
Busy?
And then part of that extravaganza, and then on the Sunday, April 10th, Ashley is going to do an underwater egg hunt in the indoor pool.
How cool is that?
And
That's
we're also
very
doing an egg coloring event. Matt Fielder is doing an egg coloring event in conjunction with the underwater event. So we're trying to do a weekend multiple option type thing versus, if you guys remember, our traditional is just
Dash.
mad dash of candy
Yeah.
on the gym floors, because
Right.
usually we're moved inside because of weather. So we're kind of moving away from that
Think
theme
that's-
and going more outdoorish, nature, healthier snack ideas. So April 9th and 10th is when that will be coming. More information will be coming out through communications and out that, but it definitely is one event that, again, large event that we normally had that we haven't had for a couple years, so we're trying to make some good improvements to it. Second thing I had was summer brochure. That covers May through August programming. We're working on that right now. Registration for those programs starts the week of April 4th. So Monday, April 4th is for residents. Like swim lessons for the summer for non-residents will start April 6th. But that activity guide brochure will be coming out here probably week of March 21st, with registration starting that first week in April.
Is the activity guide still mailed to households, or is it
Nope.
electronic? I'm trying to remember.
Actually, we used to go through No Joco, and the North Liberty Leader was kind of our publisher. They have ended. We are now creating it. I work with the communications department in doing it, and we provide it online, and then we do have in-person hand copies within the rec center that people can stop by and get.
Okay. That's smart. It saves a lot of
So-
money, doesn't it?
Saves a lot of money,
Electronic.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how people still want the hard copy. And it's a lot of, I mean, it's been years, just a document too easy for staff to, if they have a question, look up and find the answers. The last couple of years, we've been very, short with our descriptions because we didn't know if they would go or not go through the whole pandemic. So again, going back to our original information and people looking for it, I think is why we're offering both online option and a in-hand version. So that will be coming out. So those are two things that I guess would have happened before our next meeting.
I think it's so positive to hear that and we don't use that term returning to normal, it's that we're gearing up and we're moving forward. Some things are changed forever and some things are innovated to a better place. And I think your Easter extravaganza is a great idea instead of the anxiety of just everybody running and grabbing that candy. Having a more relaxed family activity, I think, will be well received. I think that should be really, really good.
I did have two things I wanted to ask. Well, one, since we didn't have the February meeting, I loved the lights around the Liberty Center pond.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was great. So that was just feedback that I definitely talked to other
Yep.
people and heard.
We need to give credit to the communications department for that. They were the spearheads of that whole thing.
Okay.
All part of the Beat the Bitter event,
Yeah.
kind of brought those in and everything, so.
That was my other question then about Beat the Bitter, and that was how do you feel that went?
I think it went well,
Pretty awesome.
yeah.
I heard great things about it.
I did too.
I mean, I heard great things about it. Like,
That
cool
continues
it
to
was.
be definitely a really enjoyable, I think, event during the middle of winter to get people outdoors. And yeah, I mean, like we said, the ice skating rink I know was busy. The fire show, bonfire, you can just, that just we try and keep it very simple but then at least provide some opportunity to get out. And I think it goes over well.
Yeah, there were a lot of people there when we were there. Just
Did you have fun?
always do. Always have that something fun to go do in the middle of winter when in here we can watch the fire jugglers
Yeah,
and roast the
right.
marshmallows and all this stuff.
Well, I think that kind of segues into next, I think, as we talk about those activities, the combination of our communication staff, our rec staff, everybody working together. That's another part of the very positive things about North Liberty that we talk about. We talk about the community center being a hub, community center, library, all these things that are the hub. And as we go down here, then we talk about, as Shelley's got on here, the community vision, which is connected to tomorrow, I think is the actual title. And I know some have, we've already mentioned there are those listening posts and those things. If you haven't done the survey, to do the survey. And I've done some reading. There's a lot of comments about recreation in North Liberty. And there's a lot. I mean, we have so much going on, but that there's still people coming up with these innovative ideas to keep. So I think good things generate good things, So I guess the question I have at when all that is culminated, I know they're doing all the survey and we have the company that's working with the city. Then at that point, will we as a group get all the ideas that have been generated for parks and recreation and that'll come to us as a package, you think?
I would see why not. It'd be a public document.
That I think that's some great opportunities in this to like I said, if you haven't done the survey and you can go on site and you can see where people are making comments and where all the different things are, and probably learning ourselves as we've talked about the different parks, and I've heard a lot of things. All of a sudden, I don't, you let it be known you're on this commission, you're going to hear things. I guess I think in the past anybody talked to, but now people are really talking because about this. And I have people talking to to me, and saying, we want things in this community where our kids can ride a bicycle and walk to and have fun indoors, outdoors, in a safe environment, and they've got all, and I hope we listen to kids too about some of their ideas. So I think it's part of our job, so to speak, to really be a part of this. And if you haven't gone and done a survey for your part, you can go in for various parts of the city, and then there's a specific part about Parks and Rec, but about anything in the comprehensive, the long range planning, and then listen to people. I hope. No business. We haven't had anybody in the audience in a long time, but I'm guessing with some of these ideas that'll come up, we'll have people pushing for their, once all these things are brought up, there'll be a time as to what the budget allows or what resources allow, that people are going to be coming to us. Oh, we'd like to see this, we'd like to see that, and there's a lot of things out there. So I don't know, Shelley, you got some more to talk about the plan?
No, I just left that on the agenda just, to keep, again, it is definitely a great tool. And what I'm trying to do is find time to go on there and just see the little points people, and just pick up on those things that maybe I haven't heard before. And just, again, I have my own circles and people coming in the rec center. I might hear it that way, but there's a lot of ideas out there that I haven't heard. And it's just been a great thing that I've been trying to stay on top of too, of what are people thinking, and is it something we can do now, or is it something that is going to take some time to implement? So that's what I'm kind of using it for. But I think the whole process, like Guy says, we have that meeting coming up next Friday.
That's that Friday.
Yeah, next Friday. I think we are on the same one. So I think it will be a great tool to move us forward. So
When does the survey close, and when can people stop commenting on, or is it always going to be open?
shoot, I do not have
Let
that
me look it up.
offhand either. I think there was a deadline, but
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking it was.
There
That's
was a
what I thought, that
deadline.
there was a
I
deadline
thought it was like
already.
May 1st or.
yeah.
Tomorrowland. No, that's something.
Do we know how many surveys have been turned in, as the city said?
I have not heard. No, that's all going through like the
I think it
planning
goes through that
committee.
third company, doesn't it? Or that
RDG.
company?
RDG is
Yeah,
working with,
so
and
I'm
they're
not sure they
mainly
even
working
know.
with our planning department
Yeah.
staff, and then gradually they're bringing in our different areas. So I mean, we haven't had a lot of input yet, but again, it's going to take the entire year to formulate all this, and so I'm
Well-
sure there's plenty of things more coming up.
Richard and I and John from Sugar Bottom Bikes met with them via Zoom last Friday, because they kind
Awesome.
of like had a slot scheduled out for anyone in the parks, who wanted to meet with them. So we got to talk with Charlie and just, and then kind of ask him about what's kind of the general feedback or the reoccurring themes that you're, seeing. And that was real informative. There were certainly some Parks and Rec, things, and then some other, transportation, housing,
Right.
kind of themes where they were like, we're seeing, a lot of, I don't know, these 5, 6 kind of reoccurring things.
The one I was on was the same kind of thing. They had some questions. And then they asked the people in the Zoom, like, what their thoughts were about it.
And
But
I-
yeah, that link there, that you'll find a lot of that information on that link there connected to tomorrow. If you just type that in too, you can jump to it. And
encouraging anybody out there listening to, again, go in and do the survey, be a part of the connected to tomorrow plan of North Liberty. I sit on that advisory committee, and as a big part of that is going to be listening to the park and recreation piece that's coming out. And I think we have good things, and just that, like I said, one of the things about living in North Liberty, I think there's a lot of innovation. I mean, as these things happen every month with the lights and Beat the Bitter and all, these are all innovative ideas that are coming up that aren't old traditional things. And I think that's what's going to continue to happen in this community. And one of my phrases is aging in place, and aging in place doesn't mean an old person like me wants to live here till I die. it means no matter what age you are in North Liberty, as you start a family, you know, your family grows, they become teenagers, they empty nest, whatever, aging, you know, we want the whole community to be for everybody that ages in place. And a lot of kids in this community that are growing up. So that's my speech. So.
Well done.
What else we got? Questions for
Going out to
Shelley or
today's meeting.
Guy? Anything
Meeting we had today.
that we haven't talked about on here that anybody wants to bring up? Or we call for the question and get home and watch the Hawkeyes?
That's right.
Anybody like to make a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second that motion.
I don't think anybody agrees to adjourn. We did it.
Welcome.